up and leave the country and leave the state, I get no say so whatsoever.
So clearly, DDG doesn't know what legitimation is, or if he does know, then he's choosing to act ignorant. So let's break it down. I had to take some notes because his video was kind of all over the place. Watch the full video. So, Holly and DDG have a little boy. He's a little over 1 year old. If you don't know Holly, she is with Chloe. Her and her sister blew up when they were young teenagers on YouTube by doing covers of Beyonce songs. Eventually, Beyonce ended up signing them to her label. They were together as a duo, singing. Then they kind of split off because Chloe started kind of doing her career single, solo, dolo. Holly continued to sing as well. She also was the star actress in Little Mermaid, the live action movie that came out maybe a year or so ago. And then she recently, again, had a child with DDG because, again, the son is a little over a year old. So that's a little background if you don't know who Holly is. Now, DDG, I don't know him too well. I think he's like a famous YouTuber slash streamer, and that's pretty much as my knowledge goes about him. So let's get into this. Recently, Holly filed a TPO, which stands for a temporary protective order. You could also call it a TRO, a temporary restraining order, or just restraining order. They can all be used interchangeably. So she recently filed this and it was granted to her, which means she had to prove the following to the court. She had to prove that he was violent against her, either in the past or he's going to be violent again in the future. She's in risk of imminent danger of her life, and then she is in reasonable fear of her life. Now, I don't know all the allegations because I have not seen a court document, but what I have seen through news articles online is that she alleged that they were doing an exchange, I guess, for the child for Halo, and they got in an argument or something of that nature. He was upset. He called her the B word. Then he smashed her face into the steering wheel. And he did all of this in front of the child. And he told her, B, get out of my car. Those are the allegations that we've been seeing online. So she could have put more in the petition, but we know that she at least put that. Clearly, if someone is smashing your head in the steering wheel in front of y'all's child, you already are in danger of your life, and she has a reasonable fear for her life and for her child's life. So we're not going to use the word allegedly here because clearly this has been proven in court with the judge if the judge granted her the TPO. So what do you call that, guys? Ding, ding, ding. Yes, you call it abuse. And I guarantee you it wasn't his first time doing it because most victims don't come forward the first time. They think that the person won't do it again and that maybe it'll get better, and it never, ever, ever gets better. It literally always gets worse. So her being granted this TPO means he cannot come within 100 feet of her. I believe he still gets to see the child, but the judge did grant her the right to take the child out of the country for 2 months because I think she's filming something or working on a project. But sometimes when the mother or a parent in general is granted a TPO against the other parent, sometimes that protection will include the child, especially if the violence happened in front of the child. So DDG may not be able to see Halo either. I'm not really sure, but I'm for sure know that he cannot have any contact with Haley, and that means no third-party contact either. So he can't text Chloe and say, hey, get this message to Haley. That's a violation of TPO. He can't text no other family member, no mom, dad, sister, friend, no social media. He can't make a random account and try to text on social media, nothing. If he contacts her in any way, form, or fashion, that is a violation of the TPO, and he will likely be taken to jail for aggravated something, either aggravated stalking or aggravated harassment, aggravated family violence. It's going to be some type of criminal charge if he violates this TPO. As it stands right now, he doesn't have any criminal charges. I want you to understand that. When someone is granted a TPO, the person who has the TPO against them, that is not a criminal charge. We call this something called quasi-criminal because it's criminal in nature and civil in nature. It's civil in nature because the judge is telling someone they can't do a basic, pretty much human right. You can't be around this person. So that's the civil liberty, I guess, they're taking away. You can't be around this person. And then the criminal part comes in, because if you are around this person, if you disobey my order, then you're going to go to jail. Then you're going to have a criminal charge, and it will be a felony. Now, this is a long video, but I had to at least explain that topic. So now let's move on to the next topic, which is legitimation. So when you go back and watch the full video, you'll hear DDG say that he can't travel out of the country with Halo. He never has. He can't travel out of the state. He never has, and he has no rights to his child, basically. And then he also says that he feels like he has a second mom. I don't have any say-so, and he has to get permission, as he used quotes, which there is no quotes. You do got to get that permission, DDG. And then he also said that Haley is the primary parent. Again, there are no air quotes. She really is the only parent. She's the only legal parent. Let me break it down. In Georgia and in most states, when you are a couple and you have a child outside of marriage or outside of wedlock, like the old folks say, that means as a father, as a man, you don't have any rights to your child. Let me break it down a little bit further. When I say you don't have any rights to your child, you don't have any legal rights to your child. In Georgia, it doesn't matter if you signed the birth certificate. It doesn't matter if you was there for the birth. That doesn't matter. You still don't have any legal rights to your child. You have about as many rights as I do to your child, which is none, right? I'm a complete stranger. I don't have any rights to your child. That's exactly how the court sees you when you've had a child outside of marriage and you have not filed a legitimation case. What is a legitimation case, you ask? In Georgia, you file this case in the Superior Court, and you're telling the court, hey, I am the biological father of this child, and I also now want to be recognized as the legal father of this child, meaning I want my child to have the rights to inherit from me if I leave them an inheritance, and then also I want to have the right to make decision in my child's life when it comes to health care, when it comes to extracurricular activities, when it comes to religion, when it comes to education. I want to be able to travel with my child, take them out of the country. I want to be able to get them a passport. I want to be able to get their school records, their medical records. Literally, when you are not legitimated and you don't have any rights to your child, you can't do any of those things I just named. Now, there is another way to legitimate this child. Let me see if you can guess it. The other way you can legitimate this child is by what? Ding, 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 getting married after the child is born. So if you don't file A, a legitimation case, or B, get married after the child is born, then your child is not legitimated and you don't have any rights. So, DDG, Halle is not only a primary parent, she's the only legal parent. You are a biological parent, but again, you don't have any rights to your child. So no, you don't have any say-so. You do have to ask Halle for permission. You can't take Halo out of the state. You can't take him out of the country. And yes, she can do all of those things I just named, and she doesn't have to ask you for permission. Why? She automatically has legal rights to the child because she gave birth to the child. Now, some people may agree or disagree with the law. I'm not really here to debate that. What I'm here to do is tell you the facts, and the facts is that is the law, especially in Georgia. Now, other states, I'm not sure. I'm a licensed attorney, but I'm only licensed to practice in Georgia. Now, I have 1 more minute left because I'm about to hit the 10-minute mark. I didn't think it was going to go that long, but let's make one more point. So again, if you watch the video, DDG says, I'm not a bad dad. If Halo could talk, he'd want to be around me more, and I'm a good father, and I'm always around my child. That sounds good and all, but the last time I checked, good dads don't abuse the mother of their children at all, in any manner, in any circumstance, but they definitely don't abuse the mother of their child in front of the child. I don't understand how good dad equals abusive father/boyfriend. So in closing, men, if you had a child outside of wedlock, outside of marriage, you don't have any legal rights to your child. I know you never heard of it. I get clients all the time to come to me saying, I've never heard of this word legitimation. Well, you heard it today. If you need some help, make sure you contact my office.